There are 4 reasons Escondido Tutorial Service is a great place to study the great books, the material, the method, the people, and the tutor. The selection of the great books that ETS students study provides the opportunity to examine and understand our own cultural DNA. For better or worse, these are the books that shaped our cultural history, and by understanding them, we engage the questions that allow us to choose our own life convictions with greater discernment. These are also the books that attempt to understand the wide scope of human nature. Pascal commented that man's glory is reason, and reason's glory is to understand its limits. The great books give abundant witness to the limitations our reason possesses in answering life's grand questions. You'll have the rest of your life to chase a generous income. However, the strength of youth should be given to a more difficult task, learning to see and revere what is true. ETS tutorials embrace the Socratic method because what is discussed with pleasure is almost always remembered. So the give and take of ideas and discussion is the primary engine of a good great books education. It is part of what it means to give ourselves over to the public nature of thought, to be willing to submit our own thoughts to the opinion and examination of others. Further, ETS does not attempt to create a secular environment of discussion. Most of the writers we read were theists of one sort or another, and naturally, in order to understand them well, the Bible guides the principles that circulate in our discussions. The quality of our education and even our lives is greatly affected by the nature of the people that we have the privilege of regularly associating with. The great books can be a strenuous read, and without a quality group of students not only to discuss with, but to associate with outside of class, that task might prove impossible. Fortunately, you'll find ETS attracts fascinating people who are open to wonder and willing to thoughtfully consider what is good, beautiful, and true, regardless of whether it leads to fame or profit. So, through our balls, spring flings, and alumni gatherings, ETS endeavors to provide multiple contexts in which students can learn from a loving and inspiring community. I started reading philosophy, theology, and the great books 30 years ago, and have spent the last 20 years teaching them to homeschoolers online and locally. I've endeavored to live the full scope of life and bring that vision into the classroom. Married for 15 years, a father of 6 children, an active musician, furniture maker, timber framer, and always open to the next hobby or interest, I attempt to show that curiosity is the rhythm of life and not just an educational slogan. As a faithful member of Grace Bible Church and resident of the town where my ancestors have been buried for the last 100 years, I strive after the stability and God-fearing disposition that keep one from despising one's roots and overextending the limits of God's wisdom. I invite you to study the great books with Escondido Tutorial Service.